So I really appreciate the time to be able to share to everyone in an incredibly busy period where people are rapidly handling the impacts of COVID-19. So I appreciate your time, and I want to present a little bit of the solutions that Sorcero has been building and how they're being applied today. Many of our customers started working with us around language intelligence solutions and needs at their companies, and as the crisis accelerated and their teams moved to a deskless workforce and remote, we found that we rapidly were able to use the modular nature of our platform to deliver solutions for those challenges. So I want to give you a little preview of that and then answer your questions about how we can support you during this time period. So Sorcero's built a smart enterprise platform that allows enterprises to understand, access, and leverage their technical knowledge from anywhere. And that's, we found, is a key value proposition for the enterprises that were often in the process of digital transformation and had to accelerate tremendously. The key issues here is that about 90% of the data used in the workflows of the technical enterprises we work with is in unstructured data, often digital paper, that traditional AI and traditional technology really struggles to handle, and they needed new tools and new solutions they could rapidly deploy to handle it. What we've done is we've built a platform with 3 unique capabilities. The first, it's the first no-code drag and drop platform for natural language understanding technology. And that means that we're able to use a block-based AI ingestion pipeline that you can pull down from a platform. And so we can build applications in days, not months or years, which is the traditional cadence for enterprise AI. It's domain tuned. Instead of taking teams who may need to annotate or manually take all the documents that you need to deliver instantly to your teams, we actually auto-assemble customer and domain-specific models, ontologies, and lexicons that tune in general domain AI for your use case, your enterprise, and your need automatically and very rapidly. And then we build a turnkey AI platform, which is an infrastructure platform and service. We can turn it on. We can use APIs, integrate it, but it has built-in AI governance that allows hub and spoke learnings from each application, so that the learning on each application helps either application, which meant you get ultra-fast follow-on application builds, as all the learnings from the first application are instantly deployable in a block-based model to the next ones. What that means is we built a platform. We take in the sources that you're familiar with, where it sits today in those enterprise systems that you're struggling to deliver to your workers that are now in the field or at home. We take in the formats you're comfortable with, but we built a unique cognitive tower that takes in the layers of understanding and applies it so that we can understand language and queries and systems that are very difficult for traditional AI to work with, such as medical language, engineering, financial language, underwriting, other issues like this. And we make a knowledge fabric that's accessible to your workers just by dragging in what you have today, rather than going through a lengthy cleanup and annotation process. So we built this platform. We're happy to go into it a little further, but it just plugs into your systems. It builds basically what we used to do as a shadow workflow for enterprises, and now it's becoming the actual workflow for the companies we work with. So we focus on making the content more accessible, collect, organize, and make it accessible, make it faster, and provide some augmentation to folks that are now working from home that's still doing the same workflow work. And we're helping those customers today. One example we just announced last week is we're working with the Electrical Training Alliance. It's the primary enterprise content provider to the entire 171 billion electrical construction industry. They have 350,000 people who are getting in-person, in-classroom training that was mission and safety critical around rules, regulations, electrical safety. It's a critical industry. We're working with them to make it remote, make all that information accessible. We have a 3-year partnership, and we're making digital content delivery training and on-demand performance support, taking passive content, make it accessible mobile, even via SMS in places where there's low bandwidth and people don't have the devices at home. That might be a desktop or a laptop you might have in some industries. So we did that with our platform. We were able to rapidly spin this up by just taking the individual modules and chunks out of our platform to build a knowledge application layer for technical knowledge delivery. We're able to select those elements and rapidly deploy it. What happens is you get an advanced knowledge base. We think one of the most advanced knowledge bases in the world, and that can contextually find answers from even highly structured regulatory and other documentation from the content that you have and you rely on to do your work. And that's stuff that's used for doctors, it's used for electrical and others. So we're also working on technical guidelines. Currently we're working on medical guidelines with Roche and other folks like that. And we're able to take those technical questions that otherwise really are very difficult in some of the industries you work with to process and make that instantly available. We read from documents that are in tables, documents, images, diagrams. We instantly pull that in and build a knowledge base for our employers, for our customers as employers who need to deliver that to people in particularly regulated industries. We're accelerating claims intake processing, taking the same platform, a different workflow, different pieces, and we have a triage application that rapidly deals with teams that are overwhelmed with the number of claims they're dealing with today, and helping them to auto-extract the key data from the claims that are coming in, which might be coming over email, fax, even still mail, and taking out the key data, routing and scoring that to inform teams and give them guidance on where things should be going and how they are probably going to end up, their similarity. And that's what we're doing today, as well as drilling insights from the field. So we've basically built a system that brings in that intelligence and rapidly delivers it into the field. So we'd love to see how we could help you and give you any answers to how this might be a solution to some of the technical challenges you're facing around these areas today.
Fantastic, Richard. One question for folks who might be interested in engaging with you. Could you give a sense of how long does it take? What are the and what are the what's the sort of pathway to getting sort of to a proof of value or proof of concept? With maybe you could talk about a recent engagement.
Absolutely. So we've worked with a number of plug and play partner enterprises, and typically what's happened is we've gotten going with folks in under 30 days. And so we've done a number of those. We're working with very large companies with a lot of data protection needs, data science, often with healthcare data. So working with GDPR, HIPAA, and other issues, we're still able to get that data loaded into a knowledge application and delivered to teams very rapidly. And because of that block-based no-code interface, we're able to give teams the ability to very rapidly remix and deliver subsequent applications to solve those problems. We think it's the fastest way to deliver some of these technical knowledge applications, and we're really hopeful that it can help more of the enterprises that are struggling with this today.
Perfect. Thanks very much, Richard. And so